Hi, this is Kevin at Fin Feather Fur in Rossford, Ohio. I had the opportunity to fish with a good friend the last couple weekends. He's also the fishing manager at the Milan store in Sandusky, and I had a great time with them, and we want to kind of talk about a little bit of what we did. The first time we went out, we caught them on jerkbaits. We also caught them on swim baits. We caught them on almost everything, even spy baits. So it was a great day. We caught a lot of fish. We caught a lot of bigger fish. And the second time we went out, it wasn't very good for me. A terrible day for my screw tubing. I really struggled. I watched Ryan. He caught fish left and right, but he was fishing a jerkbait. He's a phenomenal jerkbait fisherman. He's got that technique down. I struggle. I was kind of old school. When I started fishing, we didn't have left and right hand bait cast reels, so I learned on the right hand. Unfortunately for me, it was hard to change over to fishing the left hand where I could work a jerkbait, work it, and just start reeling. I'm still old school. I jerk it, then change hands and reel. I struggle at jerkbait fishing. All day we talked about it because he was just whacking them. I said, I wonder if I try a spinning rod. And he said, you know, there's a lot of people that work a spinning rod quite well. So I switched over. I took a rod that I had. It was actually a drop shot rod, and started working that, and I started catching them. It was working great. I was Megabass plus ones, plus twos. We were fishing a little deeper water. We have the KVD style baits, jerk baits. We got some Lucky Craft Stacy's and the Megabass plus ones, plus twos. Almost any jerk bait will work. If you're fishing a little shallower water, obviously a shallow diver. If you're fishing deeper water, the deeper divers are going to produce better. So recommended rods for fishing jerk baits are going to vary a little bit from a traditional crankbait rod. So you got to have a rod that you're not ripping the hooks out of their mouth, but you still have to have enough tip action to work the bait, but enough backbone that you can jerk the bait one way or the other. On a crankbait rod, you just would be going like a maniac trying to get action to it because the rod gives too much. So if you look at a rod, if you noticed on this one, it's going to have the tip's kind of soft, but you still got a lot more backbone. See how the rod bends? So you can work your bait. You can work that bait, work it, and still get a good hook set on them. And I'll show you the crankbait rod. You'll see the parabolic bend is a lot more. It's a lot softer tip, and even coming back on the rod, it's got a lot more flex to it. On a jerkbait too, most guys will prefer a little bit shorter rod because a lot of times you're keeping the rod low in the towards the water more. If you have a long rod, you got to keep it up more, and you're not working the bait properly. You want to keep it kind of low. That's why, to be efficient and catch the most fish, you need a rod set up just for jerk baits. You need a rod just for crankbaits. Line weight would be, well, for crankbaits anywhere between 10 and 12. For jerk baits, 10 to probably up to 14 or 15 pound test. I like to use, and probably a lot of guys like to use, is a fluorocarbon. Fluorocarbon helps get your bait down a little bit deeper. It has less stretch than a mono, and a little bit more stretch than a braid. If you're using a softer rod, the braid probably would be all right with a long leader. If you got a little stiffer rod for your jerk baits, the braid might be actually detrimental. It might help to get the bait down a little deeper, but unfortunately there's no stretch, so you got to watch what rod you use because you could actually rip the hooks right out of their mouth. So it's kind of a fine line. So the fluorocarbon seems to work the best. So with all that, I hope you can go out there and catch a fish of a lifetime. And this is Kevin at Fin Feather Fur Outfitters.